Dear investors, in the first section, let's look at the just concluding Q1 result season, and let's look at the key takeaways from the same. This period has seen the worst impact of COVID-related lockdowns. It was expected to be a washout. Expectations were low. Basis the lower expectations, the companies did deliver numbers which were a tad better. The best performing sector was healthcare, which, as expected, saw heightened demand for its products. It also saved on costs, so travel, promotional, and conference-related costs were negligible. And for players in the API segment, the higher demand, supply disruptions kind of scenarios did translate into better prices. The numbers from this sector came out very strong, almost without exception. Consumer staples also did very well. Names like Britannia and Levers delivered YOY growth in profits. They again saw continued demand for their products. While people were at home, they stocked their homes with food. They focused their products on key SKUs, key products, so they saved on logistic costs. And apart from other costs, they also saved on ad expenses, which were deferred for better times. Utilities is another space which delivered growth. Now, many of these utilities are fixed return businesses, and they make their monies based on plant availability, and many of them delivered business as usual growth. PSU banks, with a large franchisee of public sector units themselves, they are their large borrowers, were less impacted and delivered growth, almost, I would say, normal. The moratorium that they extended or they had to extend to their borrowers was significantly lower than other banks. Private sector banks also did manage to deliver growth, but a lot of that was on account of lower taxation. The performance there was weaker than PSUs for this one quarter. Overall, the key to watch for in the finance sector numbers was lower, sharp reduction in moratoriums. As businesses sprung back, people opted to pay back interest on their loans, and the moratorium amount saw sharp reduction. Life insurance space delivered growth on better product mix. This was something that we expected last time around. The term insurance plans sold more. General insurance sector also saw growth. Once again, we are seeing a trend of health insurance taking the fancy in the month of July. Also, this is after the result season got over. The general insurance players have seen retail health insurance grow at a pretty fast clip. The numbers came out good for general insurance because they had to pay lower claims on motor, which is the largest segment for them. Combined ratios for two of the larger general insurance companies was less than 100. Which means that the companies made money on the insurance business itself, apart from investing activities. While many sectors delivered sharp degrowth, corporate India did a great job on cost control. And many sectors also benefited from lowered input prices. This led to an improvement in operating margin. This is something we have seen across. Telecoms benefited from increased tariffs. After the losses in Q4, refining companies were allowed higher margins. Cement companies saw lower manufacturing and logistic costs, while they were also able to get some price increases in the marketplace. Now, asset heavy and commodity sectors were negatively impacted. Operating efficiencies were low. People reported 40-50% drop in sales, and for higher fixed cost businesses, this did translate into losses. Commodity prices were low, so users of commodity benefited from higher margins, but commodity players themselves were impacted negatively. We do believe some of the positive trends seen in terms of cost control in quarter one will persist in quarter two as well, and could continue to be a cause of surprise. Overall, after quarter one results, the outlook for financial 21, has only improved a tad. So that is a positive, while this was otherwise a very, very difficult quarter for India Inc. In the next section, let us look at the economic recovery, and we really believe it is continuing. While the COVID situations remain bad, the hope is emerging in the stabilization in number of active cases. Now, doubling rate has improved to 33 days, and what is most encouraging is that government seems to have decided that lockdowns are a thing of the past. Economic activity takes precedence and would be allowed to normalize, given that in the past lockdowns have had a very high cost. It helps that in spite of slowly normalizing, the country is not seeing a sharp spike in the number of cases as yet. We are seeing markets open everywhere. While traffic in the market is still significantly lower than pre-COVID days, but more encouragingly, even discretionary items are seeing some traffic, though presently may be enticed by the large discounts. But versus the thought that in such difficult times, the staples, the items of daily consumption, necessities will be the only thing people will spend on, we see that changing in the marketplace. The pace of economic recovery, which was very strong in the beginning, obviously from a low base, has broadly continued, but not at the same pace. Recovery is visible in retail e-transactions. That's a big win. COVID has changed habits. Cash utilization is lower. People want to use newer ways of transacting. On the highways, e-way bills are higher than pre-COVID period. That's the change that we are seeing now versus cash collections there. Many people are opting for the automatic way of doing things. Custom duty collections are nearly back to normal, though of course aided by increase in duties in some cases. Electricity consumption is back to near normal, and this is in rains. We are having good rains, so in rains typically electricity consumption drops on account of cooler climate. Air conditioning demand drops, but in spite of that, we are seeing electricity consumption back near normal. Rail freight is now showing growth over pre-COVID times. Toll revenues on the highways have improved. Unemployment is down further, and in terms of credit growth, and deposits in bank, the trend is maintained as per last period. So overall, we do believe recovery continuing, while the pace of recovery may have slowed down a bit. Now, inflation has moved up, and basis that in the last policy, RBI chose not to cut rates further. We do believe inflation would be a temporary issue with good monsoon and increase in cropped area. We should see inflation come down as disruption, as the logistic disruptions on account of monsoon subside and the new produce comes to the market. The slight hardening of bond yields should hence prove temporary. We do believe this would give policymakers room to reduce interest rates further. Globally, in spite of large liquidity inflow, inflation is not an issue as yet. There are regions in the world which are experiencing negative inflation, and with high, spare capacity, it is unlikely to become an issue in the near term. So, we do believe we should expect to see interest rates in India go down further from where we are as of now.